In class last week, we talked about looking at the nearest neighbors for different things and classifying them that way. And I showed a data set with flowers and how you could look at somebody's friends or who the values near them and then associate them that way. So what we have here is a project that looks at numbers, handwritten numbers, and tries to identify what the numbers are. This is what's the concepts behind how the U.S. Postal Service reads your address and send it to you. So this is the image, and it classified this one as a 7. What we have here in this box are color codes for each of the numbers, and you'll see they cluster together. Let's come down here. So we have these red values. These are all 6s. Right? All these ones. Now there's some that sneak in, like this one. It kind of looks like a 6, but here's so I'm clicking on it and it's showing different examples. So these all look like 6s, and then we can spin this around. There's this grouping here of blue ones, and these are all 0s. These green ones over here, so I kind of drag it around, you can see some multi-dimensional space. These are all 2s. So you can kind of get a sense of how these things cluster together based on their attributes. The actual way that it's able to do this is beyond the scope of this class, but the idea is there are certain things about this image that the computer is picking up on, and it's able to group them together and basically say everybody else who has these characteristics is a 0. And so if you have all these same characteristics and you would be plotted here, then you're probably a 0 too. Right? So that is how it works with being able to do clustering and identify numbers of them together. Just go ahead and turn some of these off. You can see how just left the 1s and the 9s. The 0s are there. Let's go ahead and turn off the 9s. So you can see the separation between these ones over here that are all 1s. What's this guy? That's a 0, but it got kind of classified over by the 1s. And these over here, they're all 0s. Different way people write the number 0. So in regression, what we were trying to do was fit a line through data. And this is the same thing. We're just kind of fitting a hyperplane that separates out and says these are 1s and these are 0s. And then it just gets a little bit more complicated when we said, well, these are 2s. Let's spin this around here. You can see this pretty clearly. So these are 1s, these are 2s, and these are 0s. All right, and we'll just add now 3s. You can see they cluster up here. In multi-dimensional space, we can kind of spin this around. And again, this becomes a very clear picture that values up here are 3. So you can do the same thing with marketing. The people who have these same characteristics cluster together, and then you would try and identify, like, these are people that go together, and so they will all get the same marketing promotional material, for example. Okay, and that is an example of clustering and using a nearest neighbor approach.